Here's why I switched to Safari. For years, I used Google Chrome. I still use a Google Pixel phone, so I'm definitely not locked into the Apple ecosystem, and I'm what you'd call a power user. I code, I run multiple apps at the same time, and I usually have a lot of browser tabs open. But I don't have an expensive MacBook Pro. I'm using the base model M4 MacBook Air with 16 GB of RAM. So I always try to make the most of the hardware I have. One thing that kept bothering me was Chrome's memory usage. With my usual workload and a handful of tabs open, Chrome was often using 6 to 8 GB of RAM. So I started wondering, should I switch to Safari? I ran my own tests. I opened the same websites, kept about the same number of tabs open, and compared the memory usage. At first, I was surprised. Safari looked like it was using almost the same amount of RAM as Chrome. The difference wasn't nearly as big as people on the internet made it sound. So why does everyone keep saying Safari is the best browser for Mac? After digging deeper, I found the answer. The amount of RAM you see in Activity Monitor doesn't tell the whole story. Safari is built specifically for macOS. That means the system can quickly reclaim much of Safari's cached memory whenever another app needs it. In other words, Safari works with macOS instead of fighting against it. That's one of the biggest reasons it feels so efficient on a Mac. So I decided to make the switch. After using Safari as my main browser for a while, I'm genuinely happy with it. Along the way, I also discovered some powerful features and settings that most people never use. So let me show you exactly how I use Safari and the tricks that might convince you to ditch Chrome too. Let's start with the Safari settings. Chances are you've never opened them before, and honestly, most people haven't. But a few simple changes can make Safari feel much faster and more convenient to use. If you're still using Chrome or another browser, the first thing you should do is click Set as Default Browser. That way, every link you open will automatically launch in Safari. Next, you'll see Safari opens with. You can choose a new window, a new private window, all windows from your last session, or all private windows. I recommend choosing a new window. It gives you a fresh start every time you open Safari. Now here's the first setting I always change. Under New Windows Open With, switch it from Start Page to Home Page. Then, just below that, set your home page to whatever you use most. I recommend google.com. Now, every time you open Safari, it goes straight to Google, so you can start searching right away instead of landing on Apple's default start page. Next, let's look at Remove History items. By default, Safari is set to delete your browsing history after 1 year. For most people, that's a good balance, so I'd leave it as it is. If privacy is your top priority though, you can change it to 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. Just keep in mind that your browsing history will be deleted automatically, so you won't be able to go back and find older websites. Now here's a setting I think a lot of people will find useful. Change Remove Download List items to manually. This keeps your download history instead of clearing it automatically. Once you do that, you'll always see the Downloads button in Safari. Click it and you can view everything you've downloaded whenever you need it. Even better, if you click the small magnifying glass next to a downloaded file, Safari will instantly open its location in Finder, making it easy to find the exact file without searching for it yourself. While we're on the topic of downloads, here's another setting I always change. Open the Websites section in Safari's settings. This is where you control what different websites are allowed to do, like accessing your camera, microphone, or location. The setting we're interested in is downloads. At the bottom, you'll see when visiting other websites. Change it to Allow. Here's what this does. Normally, when you click a download button, Safari asks you to confirm that you really want to download the file. If you're downloading files regularly, that extra prompt gets annoying very quickly. By changing this setting to Allow, Safari skips the confirmation and starts the download immediately. One click and you're done. It's a small change, but it makes downloading files much faster and a lot less frustrating. Let's talk about tab layout. Safari gives you two options, Separate and Compact. With Separate, the address bar sits above the tabs, just like it does in Chrome and most other browsers. With Compact, the address bar and the active tab are combined into a single row. It saves a little space, but it can take some getting used to. This is really down to personal preference, so I'd recommend trying both and seeing which one feels more comfortable. Personally, I stick with Separate. Since I used Chrome for years, it feels much more familiar, and I don't get confused when switching between browsers. While we're here, let's look at a few address bar features that you might not know about. Most people already know that the address bar isn't just for typing website addresses. You can also use it as a search bar. For example, if I type GTA 6 and press enter, Safari searches Google for it automatically. There's no need to visit Google first. Now here's a feature I barely used in Chrome, but I use all the time in Safari. It's called Reading List. Let's say you find an interesting article, but you don't have time to read it right now. In Chrome, I would usually bookmark it, but in Safari, I add it to my reading list instead. Just click the plus button in the address bar and the page is saved. Whenever you want to come back to it, open the sidebar and select Reading List. You'll see every page you've saved in one dedicated place. What I really like is that it's completely separate from your bookmarks, so it stays organized. You can even search through your reading list to quickly find a saved page. There's another great feature too. Click Unread and Safari will only show the articles you've saved but haven't read yet. It's a simple way to keep track of everything without forgetting about it. To make it even better, open Safari Settings, go to the Advanced tab, and enable Save Articles for offline reading automatically. Safari will download supported articles in the background, so you can read them later even without an internet connection. That's perfect for flights, train rides, or anywhere with a poor connection. And if you have an iPhone, your reading list automatically syncs across your devices, so you can save an article on your Mac and continue reading it on your phone. Now, if you still want to use traditional bookmarks, you can. Just right-click the plus button or do a two-finger click on your trackpad, and you'll see options to add bookmark or add to favorites. What's the difference between bookmarks and favorites? I had the same question. Think of bookmarks as your permanent collection of saved websites. Whenever you bookmark a page, it appears in the bookmarks section inside the sidebar, along with your reading list. That's great for storing websites you'll want later. But what if it's a website you visit every single day? Opening the sidebar every time isn't very convenient. That's where favorites come in. By default, the favorites bar is hidden. To enable it, click View, then choose Show Favorites bar. Now your favorite websites are always visible at the top of Safari, so they're only one click away. Of course, if you keep adding more and more favorites, the bar can become cluttered. The best way to organize them is with folders. This is one thing I think Chrome does a little better. In Chrome, you can right-click the bookmarks bar and create a folder instantly. Safari can do the same thing, but it takes an extra step. Open the Bookmarks menu, then click Edit Bookmarks. Here you'll see all of your bookmarks and favorites. Select the Favorites folder, click New Folder, and give it any name you like. You can even use emojis if you want. Just press the globe key on your Mac and pick any emoji you like. Once the folder is created, simply drag your favorite websites into it. You can also move multiple websites at once by holding the Shift key while selecting them, then dragging them into the folder together. Now here's a much faster way to add a favorite. Instead of using menus, just drag the website directly from the address bar. Make sure you click and hold the website address itself. If you click in the wrong place, Safari will just let you type instead. Once you've grabbed the address, drag it anywhere on the favorites bar. You can even drop it directly into one of your folders. It's quick, simple, and probably the easiest way to organize your favorites. One last tip for the favorites bar. If you have a lot of favorites, you can save even more space by showing icons only. Just right-click anywhere on the favorites bar and choose Show Icons Only. Now each website is displayed using its favicon instead of the full name. If you already recognize websites by their logos, this makes the favorites bar look much cleaner while fitting far more shortcuts in the same space. I've actually been using this for years in both Chrome and Safari. In Chrome, you have to delete each bookmark's title to get the same effect. In Safari, it's just a single click. Did you know Safari can remove ads and other distractions while you're reading an article? It's incredibly simple. Just click the icon on the left side of the address bar, then choose Show Reader. Instantly, the page is cleaned up. Ads, pop-ups, sidebars, and other distractions disappear, leaving you with just the article. It almost feels like you're reading a book. If you're reading at night, you can also change the background color. Click the reader options, then switch to the dark theme. It's much easier on your eyes and makes long reading sessions a lot more comfortable. If you're coming from Chrome like I did, your muscle memory probably expects the New Tab button to be right next to your tabs. That's exactly where it is in Chrome. But in Safari, The New Tab button is all the way on the right side of the toolbar. It works, but it definitely takes some time to get used to. The good news is you can customize the toolbar. Just right-click anywhere on the toolbar and choose Customize Toolbar. From here, you can drag items in or out to make Safari work the way you want. One of the first things I changed was moving the New Tab button. I simply dragged it next to the address bar, where it feels much more natural coming from Chrome. It's a small change, but if you've spent years using Chrome, it makes switching to Safari feel a lot more comfortable. I know a lot of people keep dozens of tabs open. Some people even have 20 or 30 tabs running at the same time. If that sounds like you, this tip will make a huge difference. When you have that many tabs open, it gets hard to find the one you're looking for. Maybe you can't find your Gmail tab, so you open Gmail again. A little later, you do the same thing. Before you know it, you have 3 or 4 Gmail tabs open for no reason. That's just wasting memory and making your browser even more cluttered. I also know a lot of people are afraid to close Safari because they think they'll lose all of their important tabs. There's a much better way to manage them. If there's a website you use every day, like Gmail, YouTube, or your calendar, pin the tab. Just right-click the tab and choose Pin Tab. The tab becomes much smaller and stays at the beginning of your tab bar. Even better, when you close Safari and open it again, your pinned tabs are still there, ready to use. It's one of those simple features that completely changes how you manage your browser. Once you start pinning your most used websites, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Do you use multiple Safari windows? You probably already know that you can drag a tab out of the tab bar and Safari instantly turns it into a new window. It's great when you're working on different tasks and want to keep them separate. The problem is, after a while, you might end up with 4 or 5 Safari windows open at the same time. I've done that plenty of times. Then, when it's time to finish what you're doing or clean everything up, you have to go through each window one by one. Thankfully, Safari has a much easier solution. Just click the window menu, then choose Merge All Windows. Safari instantly combines every open window into a single window, with each one becoming its own tab. It's a simple feature, but it's perfect for cleaning up your workspace in just a few seconds. Here's another Safari feature that I don't see many people talking about. It's called Tab Overview, and it works a bit like Mission Control for your browser. If you have a lot of tabs open, finding the one you need can be a pain. Instead of scrolling through tiny tabs, click the Tab Overview button in the toolbar. Safari instantly shows all of your open tabs in a grid, making them much easier to see at a glance. You can even use the search box to quickly find a specific tab without hunting through dozens of them. If you're using a MacBook with a trackpad, there's an even faster way to open it. Just pinch inward with 2 fingers on the trackpad as if you're zooming out. That gesture opens Tab Overview instantly, so you can browse all of your tabs visually and jump straight to the one you need. Those are some of the best Safari settings, features, and tips I've discovered so far. I've been using Safari as my main browser, and honestly, I don't miss Chrome nearly as much as I thought I would. If you found this video helpful and want to see a part 2 with even more hidden Safari features and advanced tips, let me know in the comments. And if this video reaches 50 likes, I'll make another one covering even more Safari features that most people have never heard of. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.